Welcome to the Fantasy Football Clown Show. I'm your host with Justin. We're going to recap week 3 and excited for another week. My goodness, we're about 20% of the way through, Justin. Can you believe it?
Yeah, already.
I mean, it goes fast and slow all the same. And I always try to think that the month of September is crazy. And I think this month of September was about the same crazy. If you guys would do us a favor and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you're notified every time we drop a new video, that would be great. And any comments you have for us, any questions, put those down in the comments section. We'd love to hear from them, love to answer those questions. We try to take our time and answer each and every one of them. So really appreciate that. Let us know you like the content, you hate the content. Either the thumbs up or the thumbs down. We like both. So they really help us out a lot. And so I guess we're ready to jump right into it. We start our day with the DraftKings tournament, and this is just clown heads that, do this every week. And this week, Justin, man, it was busier than I think we've ever had it in 2 years, right? Like this is going to be the week that it's been the best attended, if you will. And so we have 5 winners. 5 people got paid out this week. And so we had the camera actually win, and then JGL Reed, and then Rick Topher and Rusty 30 and B-Ball Jars 5 brought up the lead. So this is the first week that Justin, you or I weren't in this top 3. This week top 5, and neither of us were even in the top 5. So
yeah.
What did the Cameras team look like? What were your observations to get to 193? Looks like he didn't have all Dolphins. So
He did not. But I thought he kind of did something very smart here with the one of the worst pass defenses in the league, with stacking Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams all together. With Justin Herbert 32.3 points, Keenan Allen a whopping 48.46, Mike Williams 28.1. Then with his 2 running backs, he went with Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker had a very good week with 2 rushing touchdowns, 30.6 points. ETN 17.8 points. Jonathan Mingo 5.1 points, and I believe he left the game early with a concussion as well, so he could have gotten even more from him. Sam Laporta finally had himself a very good game with 22.4 points. Kenneth Miller with 4.4 points there in his flex, and he decided to go with the Jets defense against New England, which is a fairly safe pick there, with them only getting 4 points. So,
and I actually went with that in a season long. I have the Jets, and I feel like, do you drop them or do you just keep going? And I'm like, I'm just going to keep going with them, I guess. I mean, they still are talented, so I understand he was putting that in there in that situation as well.
Oh yeah, easy, cheap.
Yeah,
cheap.
Makes sense. Who was in the flex? What Miller? Was it Miller? You said Miller.
Yeah, the running back from New Orleans.
Oh, Henry Miller. Okay, perfect.
My bad there. Yeah.
No, so I was trying to figure out who it was. Well, yeah. So winner 193. I think, if I remember right, that's our top score out of all 3 weeks. I think 193 was the best score. That makes sense because we had so many people. But really want to encourage lots of participation again this week. We'll definitely invite everybody back that was in this week, but also, really want to add to, many more. Let's keep driving this number up and, make this a real big tournament. So, real excited for that. Looking at the Beat the Clown, that's kind of our next phase here that we always do. And when I score 110.48 points, if you were playing Beat the Clown, then you were beating the clown. And so we had Drupert, W. O'Brien, and D. Guz, and then we also have Rick Topher and Rusty 30. So everybody beat me this week. If you played against me, you beat me. What I do now to kind of send it all out. If you're playing in the tournament, I will send you a personal invitation to be in the Beat the Clown with me. You just have to accept it as fast as you can because I'm sending them out to everyone, and I'll just keep going until we have all 10 spots full. This week we got to spot 6, and nobody accepted the challenge at that point. So that's just kind of a new way for us to do it and make sure that we don't have 2 people playing against me because I'm only using one lineup, and that happened in the past. It's about the only way for me to regulate it, that I know that I just send it out to the people that did not accept the invitation yet. So that's kind of how we're doing that from this point on until we figure out a better way. But yeah, you played Beat the Clown this week, you beat me. So it was a pretty easy situation, and yeah, Beat the Clown was a winner. Moving on to the redrafts, getting right into it. Our redraft leagues and what we have going on there, and there we have our best ball head-to-head, and this is something we're really striving to turn into a dynasty at some point. We're just kind of test driving it as a redraft right now, where you can trade and you can do waiver ads. Our top scorer in best ball head-to-head A was King Khan 34. Our high scorer in best ball head-to-head B was Jello Magnetti. Looking at the redraft 1, Steelers Nation, redraft 3, we had No Cap Carson. I just want to bring up on the screen here real quick the stats of our kind of tongue tie here tonight of our best ball 1 and 2, which are also part of the best balls. Now these don't have any trades or anything. It's just the total points. So in best ball 1, this is where the scores lie. Bumskis is leading the way, but the top score getter here was D. Moran 17, and actually, kind of coincidentally, also in best ball 2, D. Moran 17 made the most progress this week, and then has the top spot as well as you look at the total score. So this is going to be points for through week 17. So right now we're at week 3, so we're kind of 3/17 of the way to the finish line here of that top score is who gets first, and we have a first, second, and third place award for that. So that's kind of how that's going to roll in that respect. And so looking at the dynasty leagues, and I always like to bring those up, and that's really what the bread and butter is of the Clownhead universe. Really is our dynasty leagues, and they're all Empire dynasties. So always looking to see if you can win those back to back and what they look like. And so Clownhead 1, Circle the Wagons was our top score getter, and I just want to bring their team up here for Justin to kind of detail a little bit, and I'll show that to you here as he describes what they have and maybe a little bit about how they were the top scorer.
Yeah, with Justin Herbert and Deshaun Watson starting their quarterback, 2-star quarterback with 40.8 from Herbert, 33.6 from Watson. Watson looked really not too bad this past week with Isaiah Pacheco with 22.5, Raheem Mustard there with 52.95 points. Coming out of that Miami Denver game where Miami hung 70 on Denver. I think he had what, 2, maybe 3 rushing touchdowns, if not 4. Yeah, I mean, it was insanely good game for all the Miami guys. Keenan Allen with 56.4. Devontae Smith, the 7.8, which he had a down week this past week. DJ Moore, 13.6. And he only got that because late in the fourth quarter, when Fields came back in after being looked at for possible concussion, caught a late touchdown pass. Was able to boost him up there a little more. Tutu Atwell, 18.45 points. Dallas Goddard, 20.1. Evan Ingram, 28.7. Cole Kmet, another tight end in the flex spot, 9.2 points. And Devon A. Chain, 68.3 points. Oh, that's insane. Insane.
There's not much on the bench. I mean, I guess Tank Dell was on his bench, so there was points there, and Adam Thielen on his bench. So, actually some points left on the bench, it looks like.
Yeah, and Jerick McKinnon on the bench as well.
Yeah.
So he could have even had higher points if he would have set the perfect lineup. After that, his depth overall isn't very good.
Yeah.
He only has two people on his taxi.
Not too many quarterbacks either, so it's going to be a rough road if gets any quarterback injuries, and so
absolutely
definitely stay tuned for the trade show and the waiver show when we look at all those quarterback injuries and how it compares to maybe last year. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how it does compare as well. So looking at Clownhead 2, the big behemoth takes the top spot. Clownhead 3, Art Cagle, 1989. Clownhead 4, Jack Powers. Clownhead 5, we have Top Flight Hooker. And moving on to Clownhead 6, this is where the Big 8, and it started up this year, these teams. We have Clownhead 6 with Psalm 3303. We have Clownhead 7, Mala Hames, who I think just is going to change all of her names to something with do you know what it is, Justin? What's she going to change her name to? I saw something on the board.
Swifty Ice.
Yeah.
Referring to Taylor Swift and the Travis Kelce.
Swift Elsie or something like Swift Elsie. Yeah, that's what it was. So it'll be, something there. And so Malahame's getting Clownhead 7 or taking the lead there. Clownhead 8, K Crawl KU. And we'll bring them up on the board as well, because that was our top point getter with this scoring format here. And I'll just kind of see how many of the same kind of players they maybe have that were on the Clownhead 1 team with a slightly different scoring format, Justin.
Patrick Mahomes and his starting quarterback spot, 36.18 points. CMC, 32.9. Debo, 29.35 points. Keenan Allen, there's a similarity there, 56.46 points. Tyler Higbee, 24.1 points. Jerick McKinnon, 20.8 points. Travis Kelce, taking advantage of starting Kelce in this flex, 35.4. George Pickens, 13.5 points. Mike Evans, 18.5. I guess maybe forgot to take out Jamal Williams out of the starting lineup with 0 points there. DeAndre Swift and his one of the super flex is 22.3 points. Jordan Love and one of his other super flex is 32.01 points. And if you look at his bench here, should have started Raheem Mostert over Jamal Williams. They would have had another 52.95 points. Oh, man. Michael Gallup, 17.2 on his bench as well. After that, it's pretty glim. Not very much. Not very many quality starters. Well, he has Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones has been out with a hamstring again this past week.
It looks like he lost Aaron Rodgers here as well.
Yeah.
At some point. Yeah, that's a team that has some similarities. It's interesting to Keenan Allen in both, and yet Mostert could have been in both, but wasn't. So there's some skin on the bone, if you will. Elite 8, moving on to our large 96 team, and this is a league that began last year, so year number 2. We have the Wolfpack in Clownhead, or Elite 8A, took the top spot, and that was the champ last year. Clownhead B, 808 Ryden. Clownhead C, the Draft Guru. Clownhead D, Johnny Ross, one of the Final Four members last year. Clownhead E, Miraless 6. Clownhead F, Astrodog 777. Clownhead G, Cellar Dweller, and then our highest point getter was Clownhead H, and that was Malahames as well. And so we're gonna bring her score up, and I guess that maybe I should say is that Swift Telsey? Is that what we have? We have Swift Telsey, not Malahames anymore. So
Possibly. We'll have
yeah,
to wait and see.
yeah, we haven't seen the official name change come through yet, but that's what we got. So
Yeah, it's with the two starting quarterbacks. You won Mac Jones and Lamar Jackson. Mac Jones 26.84 points. Lamar 38.63. DeAndre Swift 22.3. Aaron Williams 12.5. Garrett Wilson 10.3. Debo 29.35. Jalen Hyatt, big fat zero on our starting lineup. Keenan Allen, no similarity there, 56.5 points. David Njoku, 14 points. Dallas Goddard, 20.10 points. Raheem Mostert, another similarity here with 52.95 points. And the flex, and the other flex, she took advantage and started Sam Laporta. She was always big and continually big on Sam Laporta with 43.4 points. If you look at her depth, she has fairly good depth at quarterback with Derek Carr and Kenny Pickett, and even Bryce Young. Three starting quarterbacks there on the bench that she can rotate through.
yeah, wow, that's a lot of there's a lot of depth there, and I guess I even like Christian Watson and Chiggy, there in some other positions where you can just float some people in for buys, and looks like the depth is there. I don't think we necessarily had her picked to win, but
No.
Looks like there's some workable pieces as the year goes on. So
Oh yeah.
it looks like it's in a good position to really make a run. Yeah, moving on to the Big Eight. Now, this is a league that we've really just drafted this year, so a little bit more of a fresh draft this year. So the first year out of the gates for this league. We'll start with Division S, and that's Z-Flu Senior. And then Division T, we have Noisy Silence. And then that brings us to Division U, which is where our top point getter resides, and that's going to be Jay Mule. And so we'll go ahead and bring Jay Mule's team up here on the board at 3-0 record. Justin.
Absolutely. Starting quarterback Kirk Cousins with 40.93 points. Ramondre Stevenson 13.45 points. He's having a pretty rough start of the season here, being a top 8 running back from last year, maybe even top 5. Keenan Allen, another similarity here, 56.46 points. Tyler Lockett, 8.9. Travis Kelce, 35.4. Jermaine Ford with 23.1. Brandon Ayuk, I guess they weren't able to get their Ayuk out of the lineup with 0 points. Evan Ingram, 28.7. Sam Laporta, 43.4. And again, Austin Eckler. They weren't able to get him out of the lineup and still pulled it off in the Big 8. 0 points. Geno Smith, 21.69. CJ Stroud, and he's having a fairly decent year.
No turnovers yet. I think no interceptions. Maybe one of the first times in rookie quarterback history to go 3 games in a row to start.
Yeah, set the record.
Yeah,
broke the NFL record. 36.1 points. Joshua Dobbs as their 4th starting quarterback on the bench, 27.81. And if you look over the bench, not very deep. I mean, you got CEH. Elijah Moore finally got some run this past week. Tutu Atwell, KJ Osborne.
And I think Gesicki could be a real tight end. I mean, like for a bye week
Mhm.
replacement, and maybe
Yes,
no grab.
absolutely.
So there's some workable things there. I think. I guess I would, if I had this squad, I would feel comfortable with
Yeah,
those as bye week replacements. I don't know how you feel, but you're like, oh, okay, something that I could work with.
yeah, I can definitely see them getting into the playoffs, but not the big playoffs for the divisions.
And also, start though, or now you see that
Hmm.
something there. Moving on to the rest of the Big Eight. Division B, Brick 7. Division W, David R1. Division X, Final Four of the Elite Eight, Johnny Ross 23. Division Y, Nick Merkel 4. Division Z, Marshall Gore. So that rounds out what we have there. And I just want to take some time to kind of I was reflecting upon the people that make it to the Elite Eight. So just kind of record wise, I noticed that while a team with a 9-5 record from Division B last year did make it to the playoffs of the final was the top two, it looks like predominantly there's, as we have several 10-4s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. 11-3 was really the number. So if you were 11-3, you were all but guaranteed to be in the final pairings of that 16, big tournament. And so I guess I feel like after week 3, if you're 0-3, you've got to pretty much win out, at this point to find your way there. That should be the goal. So 3 losses is kind of the magic number. If you can keep your team, to 3 or less losses, you'll find that you'll be in it at the end. So that's kind of the rule to think of. Is there any other observations you have, Justin, in looking over the teams that are doing well, kind of how they build it, what they build it, and some of the observations that you have, with what the teams look like?
A lot of the teams the teams that we're seeing with the high scoring and winning every week are the teams that built for now and and not for the future. You're seeing Raheem start week after week. It seems like it. You got Keenan Allen, Travis Kelsey, those type of older veteran players that are still putting up their numbers that they didn't put up last year. They're doing better this year than last year. So let's see if they can keep it up. Maybe we'll get into a little maybe be able to sneak into the big playoff bracket we got.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Big Eight, and it looks like some of our projections are really coming to fruition now. Um, in Division S, Z Flu, we had him in second place. He was the top scorer. Noisy Silence, was the top scorer all 3 weeks so far. So that's an interesting in Division T. So that's kind of, that division, having the same person be the top scorer, that means that they're really, succeeding there. Jay Mule was the top scorer 2 of the 3. Brick 7, 2 of the 3. David R1, 2 of the 3. Titan Chaps, 2 of the 3. Nick Merkel, 2 of the 3. That's kind of a lot of the teams. There's only 2 divisions that have different winners each and every week. There, and then we start to look at the Elite Eight, and we have the Wolfpack 2 of the 3, 808 Riding 2 of the 3. Division C has different winners every week, but Division D, Johnny Ross 2 of the 3. Division E did have 3 different winners, and Division F 3 different winners. Division G, Cellar Dweller twice, and Division H, Malahomes twice, and our winner of the whole thing, Cowboys and Utes, was the 3rd winner. So she's won 2 of the 3 with the winner, that has a good team back for more. So I feel like those are definitely the powerhouse teams seem to be separating themselves, if you will. That's kind of one of the observations I have here, is that I feel like you kind of know who the good teams are just by looking at the top scorer of the week. Like they're starting to wind out. Now it'll be interesting to see once we get through week 4 and we get to the bye weeks, how these teams that are doing well right now and avoiding injuries, how they do when they have to put in bye week replacements, and so that's gonna.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Do we have any matchups this week, Justin? Do you know yet, or
No, not that I know of this week yet.
okay? So I did not see if we had any, but always anxious to play you head to head. That's always adds another layer of trash talking, so we always enjoy that. And
Well, I only think you beat me once out
yeah,
of like 8 matchups now. So,
well, I think I got you in a redraft last week, so.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
2 times.
so I did go 1-0 this week. We're gonna go by weeks. Like so you beat me week 2. Now week 3 I win. So
Yeah.
it makes me feel better that way. So even though I was only 1-0 and you were like 8-1 or some shenanigans
Yeah.
against me, rather than be 8-2, it makes me feel a lot better if it's you won a week, I won a week. Like,
Mm-hmm.
see how that works. Yeah, I'm a numbers guy. I skew the numbers to work for me. See how that
I see it.
so that's what we'll go with there. But yeah, I do think that I saw, like, when I was looking back, I don't know what league, but I think we have one matchup for sure, but I don't know if we have more than that. So I don't think it's in a Clownhead league. I think it's in one of the other leagues that we're in of some sort. And so I'm sure as we go, we're in enough leagues together that we're going to face off almost every week, and we'll have some smack talk to go. How are you feeling with your teams? Like, are you surprised after week 3?
I got a handful of teams 3-0, just rocking and rolling.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I mean, I'm middle of pack in scoring now, which hopefully will turn around sometime soon. Because I've had some pretty easy matchups, and just trying to. I got a couple. I probably have, I don't know, half a dozen, if not more. 0-3 teams. Just licking my wounds. Just trying to figure it out there.
Well, the good news is in Dynasty, there's always next year, and I always say that a patient approach is the right approach, and
Absolutely.
not staying young will let you compete each and every year, and that way when things happen, you just kind of build for the next year, and it's not like you never have to rebuild; you just are always building, and that's sort of the key that I find is the way to really be sustainable if you're building a dynasty, which is what dynasty football is really about. Is to build something that lasts and just continues to go. So you don't have to, be like our friends in Chicago and feel like you're just constantly ripping it down. Can't ever build it up because you're always ripping it down.
Yeah.
And it's more about building slowly, methodically, and moving on. I mean, I guess I never view the good teams as ripping it down. Like last year, Kansas City was kind of rebuilding, but they won the Super Bowl in rebuild year. Like Tyreek Hill gone, but they still won the Super Bowl because they just kept adding pieces to the bunch. I think that's when the good teams are, and the Patriots did that a lot of years in a row. Like they never really rebuilt; they just built. And they didn't go to the Super Bowl every year, but they just picked and chose their moments where they could just go all in and but they didn't mortgage the future when they went all in. They just kept going. So it didn't matter where it is, and I think that's one of the lessons I've taken away is the same idea of just keep building, and that way, it doesn't matter. And just a promo for a video we have coming out on Thursday this week. I'm going to outline a team that I have that is 0-3. So we're going to take a look at my 0-3 team and kind of what it looks like. And the moral of that story is that the team is good. And, put it out there. I think it's really good, actually. And it's 0-3. And so sometimes 0-3. So sometimes real good teams become 0-3. And so how do you manage that? That's what we'll talk about there. And also want to promo a trade session that's coming up that'll come out on Wednesday at lunchtime. And so, some waiver ads will be in there as well, but really, looking at some trades. And so where do we get all these trades? In our Discord. Just want to invite everybody to come to the Discord, check out the Discord and all the things that we have going on there because that's how you too can be part of the show and your trades can be part of the show. So really want to welcome that input, and Justin, myself, and some of the rest of the staff are in there answering questions, and some of the community too. And so you get fresh ideas, fresh takes, fresh opinions of your trades, of your teams, of just questions you might have, and maybe some news and nuggets as you will going on around the NFL, and you can gain an edge over maybe some of your other competitors as well. So, thank you guys all for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time each and every week. We do this for you and give you try to give you the content of what is happening in our league, so that you kind of have a feel for what goes on throughout all of the leagues, maybe not just your division, so you get a good handle on what we have there. So want to thank you guys on behalf of Justin, I'm Ed, and we'll see you after week 4.